you probably have had to fight the arts versus commerce fight
All
behind
day.
the scenes all day.
Yeah, and it's
every day.
really ugly.
Nobody knows how ugly that gets, right?
Yeah.
Ownership, how important IPs are, and you're like, dude, I fucking built this out of my basement.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
You're
extension of your being. It's more than livelihood. And by the way, I think some people get it mixed like with they go like it's a career. No. It's like an extension of one's physical and personal and mental being.
100%. I tell people our business isn't a job; it's a life.
Yeah.
This is my life. I don't take off the Jelly Roll suit at the door like Eleanor Rigsby in the Beatles song and set the mask there, and then I just this is who I am all day, every day. This is so much more to me than commercial viability, right? Like, this is everything I believe in. This is my legacy. These are the songs that will live 100 years after I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself having to argue about 5% of a royalty with a dude that doesn't deserve it. It's so frustrating, right?
That is, and to be one, the fact that anyone argues with you is ridiculous.
Only over the phone.
But at what point do you realize that music is even an option to provide, a serious option to provide for your daughter, and to really provide like a light to a path that could lead to, wherever so much bigger than where you're at even today?
Let me ask you this. From what I know of your story, it's similar to mine. Did you ever think of wanting to do or be anything other than this?
No, this is the only thing I've ever imagined doing. There's been moments, and I'm always honest, like there's been moments in the last year or so where I do question whether or not this is the right path, and every time the universe pushes my foot right back into line.
Right.
Me too.
And
Me too.
it just reaffirms to me that this is it's exactly what I was meant to do.
And that's getting hard. It is getting hard, guys. Yes. I go out and I do these jobs, and they're like, "You suck."
When did I realize it was what I was meant to do? Probably maybe years into it though.
Right.
But
That's all you wanted to do.
Oh, totally.
So it's
my God, yeah.
Very similar story. My mother shows me one of these first grade things, right? Where kids are writing they want to be a professional wrestler or a fireman. Shit people want to be when they're in the first grade. I wrote rapper. Unfortunately, I wrote it with one P, right? Which is why I've never posted it. But
it's that spelling error.
Yeah, but it could come off really wrong. You know what I'm saying? But she shows me this the other day, and I'm like, it's all I've ever wanted to be. When I thought it could really, because I've been passing out mixtapes since I was 15 in high school.
Yeah,
14 in high school.
I get that. Wow.
When I knew it was gonna work out, or I felt like it was when I came home from. So the part of my story that's my favorite part to tell is my Damascus Road experience, as the Southern Baptist preacher would say, would be when I was in jail in 2008. They knocked on my cell door on May 22nd and told me that my daughter was born that morning. I had heard that a woman had got pregnant while I was out between Jake and I went in jail, came home for a few months, and got to jail. And I remember sitting in my cell that day going, this is it. I've got to figure this out. I had a really good father. He was a hustler. He was a blue collar guy, meat salesman, book bets on the side, but he was a good man. And I was like, I got to do this. I got to figure this out. So as soon as I started calling my dude Chad Arms from jail, and I was like, yo, set me up a Facebook page, because MySpace was transitioning to Facebook. This is 2008, right? 2007. I'm like, yo, set me up a Facebook page. I was like, yo, set me up a YouTube thing, because I'm hearing about the desktop of YouTube, right? I'm like, you had to go to the desktop back then. And I'm like, yo, when I come home, let's figure this out. So touchscreen phones had just came out. Literally, they were so new, I rapped about it in a song, bragging. I listen to that now, and it's so funny, because I'm been out of jail for a day and got a touch screen. That was a big deal for me. I went to jail, no touch screen. Came home, touch screen phone. And
by the way, the changing of times.
Yeah, it was happening while I was sitting in there,
That's crazy.
President Obama got elected for president. It was a wild year, right? It was a wild year.
And you're literally,
I'm watching this from cell block 4.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And are you just ruminating and trying to understand?
I'm writing crazy. I wrote 1,000 raps. I didn't write one rap until the day my daughter was born. I just sat in jail like gambling and running the poker table, just being a prisoner. Just like, whatever, getting involved in all the bullshit that happens in jail. And I just started writing. I enrolled in the education program right after that, got my GED. It was like a light switch of like, oh shit, I'm responsible for a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I came home and my dude, Chad Arms, I always shout him out because he means so much to me. He had bought a handy cam from Best Buy, right? So he was like, all right, turns on a beat. I've been out of jail for like a day. And he's like, turns on a beat, he's like, just rap. And I rapped and he chopped it up, put it on YouTube, and that was the beginning of... That's whenever I was like, I knew that's what I was meant to do at that moment because everywhere I would go in the neighborhood, they didn't treat me like a drug dealer.
They treat you like the musician.
They treated me like the musician.
Was that the 10-minute freestyle?
That was it.
Dude, that is so sick.
Yes,
that is when you said, if my PO asked, I hang drywall.
Yeah, I'm going to send y'all some POS I hang drywall shirts.
Sick.
Yeah, I'll make sure John or Kate gets y'all's info before we leave, but I'll get it too. We'll swap numbers. I'd love to be friends for real.
Yes.
But, yeah, I want to send y'all some shirts. I still sell those shirts.
Oh, I would love
You want to
one.
hear a funny story?
Yeah.
So I put that freestyle up. It got like 1 million views or something, which back then...
Huge. That's bigger than
insane.
me. That's...
Dude, let me tell you what they called viral. You remember World Star when it was big in like 2009? Me and Little White put out a video called Pop Into the Pill, and we sent it to World Star, and we were like, this video's fixing to go big. And they were like, first time I ever heard the word viral, 2009. World Star emails back and goes, we only post videos if you pay or if they go viral. And we were like, well, how much and what's viral? They told us how much. We were like, out of the question. And they were like, viral is 30,000 views in a week.
Wow.
That's what they considered viral on YouTube, was if you did 30,000, 40,000 views in a week. We did like 50,000 in 6 days and sent it, and they posted it. And World Star ended up posting like 10 videos from me after that. But yeah, that's how crazy that was. So we put the freestyle up. It does 1 million views in a few months. It's like one of the biggest videos on YouTube at the time ever. My PO calls me to court. They make me take the video down.
What? Why?
Said I was making a mockery of the judicial system. Because the line PO ask I hang drywall was like, it was the line.
Yeah.
It was like the line in the... I rapped for 10 minutes, and I said a bunch of cool shit. But this is the line that people were like, it was crazy. So I took it down. They told me to take it down until I got off of house arrest. I was still on like halfway house arrest.
Got it.
When I came off, we re-uploaded it, and I started selling P.O. Ask I Hang Drywall shirts. I've been selling those shirts for 13 years.
Holy shit.
True story.
So are you glad that they had you take it down, or do you wish they didn't?
I can only imagine what it would have done.
If it kept going.
God, that could have been a 50, 60, 80 million.
Yeah.
We definitely lost some. It's still quite a few million views. Where it was in the growing process.
Yeah, that's...
Me and Little White have a song that's pretty big on Spotify called "And the Band Plays On." And the only reason it's big on Spotify is because it was like, we were one of the first albums. Not like one of the first.
No, but you were one of the first up there.
A couple thousand albums on Spotify. So the song organically ended up on a lot of weird kind of algorithms and playlists. You know what I mean?
You know you can make music. You know that you can rap. And then really once you go to prison, it pauses. And then your child is born. And it re-engages, but in a new way.
That same little girl is 14 years old. My wife and I have had full custody of her for 7 years. She's with me every day.
That's awesome.
She would have been in L.A., but she's with her mom.
It's amazing.
It's wild.
I mean, art did that, right?
Yeah.
Like
just telling us, what's
your
even
story.
cooler? Helping people. That's the coolest part.
You feel that your story helps people, yes?
Oh, dude, I hear it every day. And it means more. I always said I make music for people, not money. And I've learned that a byproduct of people listening is you'll make some money. Which is why I am one of the artists that love the streaming era, because I'm not asking you for money.
Yeah. You're giving it away.
I'm not pushing you to the point of purchase. It's like, if you like it, please listen. If you really like it, share it.
It's not that much to ask.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, if you with it, just listen. For at least 3/4 of the songs. That's how I get paid, I think. You know what I'm saying,
Do you feel like it's your job or responsibility to help kids to not make the same mistakes you made growing up?
Yeah.
And how do you go about doing that?
Well, I have multiple avenues of it. One is just through the music itself. I get messages from fans every day that say, hey, man, save me, help me get sober. Hey, I sat in my room with a loaded gun and was considering killing myself.
Never
I
been
put on a
relaxed,
playlist
never
that
been
I was
relaxed,
going to
never
die
been
to,
relaxed.
and I just kept listening to this and crying and realized I wasn't alone. And this is what I tell people. I get emotional saying this. If I get 1,000 of those messages a year,
No, I got
999 of them are telling a fish story,
we
right?
played in the
They're
background.
making a 5-ounce bass, a 12-pounder, right? But one of them's telling the sworn truth.
It's worth it.
Oh my God, dude. I have to keep writing songs for that person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a choice.
Who do you think about when you make music?
Well, I still think about my mother, but I also think about, these messages, these people, these faces, and these crowds every night. The pain. I think about, I've went to funerals where fans have hit me up and been like, "Hey, man, my cousin died of an overdose. We live in Kentucky, an hour up the street. You don't know how much it would change our town, and all the people that do drugs would help, just like bring notice to this if you would just stop by." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll swing by." That's who I think about when I write songs.
Do you think we're going through an epidemic right now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, at least the lower class community is.
Totally. Middle class and lower middle class, and then lower class. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, even for me, I say this as a joking, but it's the truth. The day of doing cocaine with a stranger in the bathroom's over. I used to enjoy that. That used to be one of my favorite pastimes, right? You just bump into a guy and it's like, "Hey, you want to party?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's party." You just can't. It's so up, And the sad part is most of these people have no clue that, And the saddest part is I've watched so many addictions start because of doctors.
Oh.
That's what hurts the soul the most. Where a guy, breaks an ankle and a doctor gives him, Oxycontin.
Yeah.
And the dude's ankle hurts, he's going through it. He eats them. When the script's up, you're hooked on them.
And that's why I do genuinely believe it is it preying on the middle, lower middle, and lower class,
Sure.
right? By people who are in positions like pharmaceutical reps and pharmaceutical companies and doctors who are incentivized to write scripts. I mean, even down to not legalizing cannabis.
Yes, 100%. And I'm in the Bible Belt, so I'm still going through it. We're still not even medical.
In the same breath, the amount of times Narcan is probably used in a single day is overwhelming, and it's taking lives.
No, it is literally.
But it is for the good of the people on top. Like, I think that's what people
100%.
People forget that. Like, everybody just thinks like nobody wins. This is a terrible thing. Lies. It's actually imposed.
No,
by.
for sure. Yeah, this isn't why would this work. There's a whole elite group of people who are just continuing to profit off of it.
There's a system in place.
No, it's so sad. So that's one thing I'm passionate about, helping through the music. The second thing that I do is I put my money where my mouth is. I help at-risk youth. I donate lots of money to at-risk youth programs around my city. We're doing a show in Nashville on December 9th. I'm playing my hometown arena.
Bridgestone?
Yep, Bridgestone Arena, Papa. Yes. Dude, I would...
Casual. That's a childhood dream, yeah?
Yeah, childhood. I went to that. When they built that in 96, Phil Bredesen announced it, my father, came in and, cracked a scotch bottle for it. He was like, "All right, boys, the town's changing. We're getting a proper arena." Listen, we didn't know anything about hockey. We got the Predators in 99. Me and my dad was there at a hockey game. Everybody's drunk. Rednecks are screaming wild shit. They don't know what they're watching.
Yeah, you're like, "I love hockey."
It's like, hockey's the shit. Back then, you could get a ticket to a hockey game for 2 cans of potatoes and beans and a bag of rice and a pack of bubble gum, and you could sit on the ice pretty much. You could put your face on the glass for $17.
It's funny, but a stadium does change an entire
Changes,
city.
dude. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was I'll never forget my dad. It was like, "Shut up. They're talking about the arena." And the whole house got quiet, and all 30 of us huddled around the TV to watch our mayor declare our life was fixing to change because this arena was being built. And now I'm getting to headline it. And first, I know y'all are busy people, but I would be so honored if you'd be my guest that night.
When are you? What day?
It's December the 9th.
Oh, I'll definitely come to town
it's
for
December
that.
9th. And it'd be cool because you could come with me. We're going to go speak at the Juvenile that morning.
Oh, amazing.
Talk to the kids. And we're going to give away 100% of the money to building a program inside of that same juvenile I was incarcerated in. And we're partnering with the Youth Impact Outreach to build an aftercare program where the judge will court mandate kids to go to this program. Me and a guy named Robert Sherrill, who's another ex-convict who's built a bunch of independent entrepreneurial businesses. So we're going to mix his business sense with my creative sense, and we're going
Amazing.
to create a place for kids to come and seek refuge outside of their neighborhoods and try to build on. So when I was 16 years old, I committed a crime. I'm super not proud of this. I'm embarrassed to talk about it, but it's important to talk about. The state of Tennessee deemed me to be charged as an adult.
They can really hurt somebody and impact somebody's life.
I was years away from being able to be allowed to vote or buy a pack of cigarettes, but you were sending me to adult prison, and you were giving me a non-expungible felony. No forgiveness
It's
for
with you
violent
forever.
offenses in the state of Tennessee. There's nothing I can do about it.
Can you vote today?
I cannot vote. I could not rent houses. I could not work in the medical field if I decided to be a doctor tomorrow. I don't even want to go on the list. I could list 50 things this prohibits me from, right? And not even the like questionable stuff, like, you know, like this is like just core American rights that I've been restricted. I can't go to. I'll never be able to go to Canada. They'll probably never let me in New Zealand.
What?
I just got a passport for the first time because my felony's like 20 years old. I had to fight to get a passport. Tennessee has a zero forgiveness policy for violent offenses. I'm working hand in hand to have a meeting with our governor to see if I can get a pardon. God willing. I'm speaking that into existence now.
I hope that happens. I mean,
Oh, dude.
if there's any, I mean, you understand the state from every different perspective and level.
Yes, sir.
And it's one, I think, the governor's duty to take a meeting with a constituent, but also in the same breath, if they want to actually do their job properly and grow closer to the people, talking to you should be top on the list. That is absolutely horrendous.
No, it's awful, and it's like I'm embarrassed. I made a horrible decision, and I regret it every day of my life. It also began what was the revolving door of the judicial system for me for the next 10 years after that. I spent 8 out of the next 10 years locked up, in and out of jail, 6 months in, 4 months home, year in, just in this revolving door because by then I'm a felon. I don't think I have any chance to do anything with my life. Now I'm doubling down on criminal stuff because once you charge me as an adult, so I'm so passionate about helping those kids.
It is incredibly vitally important for those programs like the ones you're creating to exist. But also, they took your childhood away from you and they put you in prison in your most formidable years. So the concept that you wouldn't be in and out of the system after that is kind of like laughable to me.
Insane.
Like you're taking somebody when they're a sponge
Exactly.
and you're saying, go be in easily one of the worst places probably in Tennessee.
Literally. And just, when you have a kid from a middle and lower class community that already feels really limited in his options because of his environment alone,
You're destroying them.
and then you give him a felony at 16, 15, it's over.
Yeah, but that's the system.
That's it. That's the system. Because they made money every day I was there.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody was getting rich.
By the way, off of your parents being back home paying taxes, which is even the worst.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. It's been
So tough.
It's been the whole system has just been sad to watch unfold. So I want to be a part of the change. So we're going to give 100% of the Bridgestone money away. I'm going to match whatever that number is with my own money because I hate when artists fundraise money but don't put up money. It fucking infuriates me.
Everybody give except for me.
Yeah, it's like, I came. Oh, great job, John. Super cool that you showed up and played your guitar for a fucking hour and think you did this great deed and took a picture with a big check you didn't write. Corny. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
So what are these programs going to be? Are they going to be? It sounded twofold. Are they after-school programs that are like community centers?
It's directly responsible for aftercare of juvenile.
Got it.
So I want to catch these kids. One, my big goal is to build something inside of the juvenile. Because I was in that same juvenile facility for like 18 months one time waiting to get bound over for the adult charge. Wow. My first goal is to build something inside of there. And my second one is to help. Me and Robert Sherrill are already working on this youth impact outreach program that he has where they have a building on one of the sides of town. We're going to try to build another one closer to my old side of town.
Great.
And the goal is to work hand in hand with the state, and the judge will court order kids as an aftercare program to come to our care. And he'll offer entrepreneurial trade services like teach people HVAC and skill sets for life and how to be entrepreneurs. I'll set up music programs in there in studios, guitar lessons, kind of creative art studio, places where people can paint, podcast, build shows, write scripts. You know what I mean?
Directing kids to a facility like that is It allows somebody to tap into potential. I always say that talent is equally distributed in America, but opportunity isn't. And everybody, so many have the potential within them, but nobody's tapping it.
Right.
Because honestly, like, it's not profitable to tap it.
Yes.
It's not profitable to those above to tap it.
Right. No.
So to create situations and to create centers like that, I mean, the most good. Like, you have the ability to, I mean, who knows the potential for what that facility has to create and give back to society.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
well, it's like
last generations.
To me, it's imagine that you never have a kid that has ever seen an example of somebody doing any kind of success. And then you put him in a room where there's tons of people who've had success, give him tools to show.
Yeah.
You're just showing the kid it's possible might change his whole life.
You are the company you keep,
100%.
right? So if you're going, and I say this about schools, right? And make the case that schools should be doing exactly this each and every day and facilitating these opportunities and unlocking potential that exists in kids. Because if you are around greatness and people are encouraging you and you're with like-minded people and people like yourself and people that elevates human beings and gives them new ways of thinking that they could have never even thought was possible.
For sure. If you hang around 9 long enough, you